Alright guys, such comic again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far with all the drama over the last couple of weeks. Envoy versus Challenger players, Envoy versus SupeR on Heretics, and then the big drama between Heretics, SupeR, Scrappy back at the major. Envoy has now doubled down on his comments after the tournament to talk about the Challenger side of things, saying that many of these players, they talk all this trash, they come into the league just to get slammed out top 12 anyway. Some people say, hang on a second Envoy, plenty of your teammates came from the Challenger side, but maybe the talent is simply not there as it previously was. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I greatly appreciate it. This clip did crack me up, as it did Ziddy as well. I mean, look, wow. This is a seriously OG clip right here. Ziddy throwing absolute haymakers. And yeah, he probably sat down and thought, wow, don't know why I did that. And Ziddy probably thought the same thing when he saw this resurface again yesterday. Let's look at some Lionman cards. This is Cloud9. And, well, Capsidal, not the Burger King, the 57 overall. He had a really horrific stage, actually. Like, the numbers are all awful in terms of, like, impact and stuff, which is kind of surprising. I thought Capsidal was actually okay, but I guess not. I don't know, just played pretty slow, didn't really do that much on the map, which I guess does kind of explain the eye test, I suppose. Spart, Sib, Kremp, you know, pretty much usual situation over there. Interesting, I guess, that Sib had the worst KD in the entire league in control as an AR of the stage. And yeah, it was their search and control that was really letting them down. They bomb out top 12. They don't make it to the World Championship, of course. Another top 12 team, more of a surprising one though, of course, was the boys on the Seattle Surge, Vancouver Surge. Their run was crazy because their hardpoint was actually very good. 8 in 3 in hardpoint, 3 in 4 in control. Abuzah was purple in a hardpoint, like the guy was out of control. But he had a .47 in Surge, and Nastie had a .59 in Surge. So, you know, the ARs this stage on Surge were getting slams like we haven't seen since, you know, the days of Surge with the accuracy roster, right? And even then, it wasn't this bad at any point, I didn't imagine. Certainly not for both of the ARs when they had accuracy and Sib on the team. So, yeah, crazy stage, really. At the end of the day, S&D wins championships. If you're going to go 2 in 7, it's a bit of a problem. Now, Nastie, look, I think he'll bounce back, but I do hope this team bounces back for champs, because it would be nice to have another team that you kind of know can compete. I think 04 finds himself in an interesting spot. He's obviously had a tricky time. A couple of grand finals he's played. It's been 04 in both of them, and he had a .4 in the series that he played against Thieves the other day. So it's not been a great run, and I think for Surge, if you are looking ahead to the off-season, you know, probably that's where you might look. But I do believe that 04 is a solid player. Smart mind in search and destroy, that's very clear. And yeah, I'm just kind of confused how, like, Nastie's first blood 7 in 6 for a .5 KD. Yeah, all rather confusing, to be honest. But yeah, that's the drama on the teams that are bombed out and what they might do going forwards. iLLeY has retired from cards, and he may or may not return. But he does say that champs is around the corner. What's the average champs placement and all this? And iLLeY says, give me jetpacks. I might consider returning. So we know that next year, this year I suppose, the game is not going to have jetpacks precisely, but we believe we'll have some sort of advanced movement, wall running, double jumping maybe, I don't know. And double jumping would effectively equate to jetpacks. So I think the point is, if the game this year has some advanced movements, don't count out iLLeY just yet for actually making a return to competitive play. Whether that's a good idea or not, that is another question. Now, one of the other big dramas of last night was Zoom returned the stream, and of course the flank was live, and they were also discussing some of the drama with the Stallions. So the past weekends, the Stallions didn't get the result that they were looking for. They bombed out top 16. Skyz, Symbols, Swooty, and Zach. Of course, Zach had come over from Australia. Swooty, Splitgate kid, and a personality, that's for sure. Skyz, of course, benched by OpTic Texas, and then Symbols, who's, you know, known among the community and has played a few things over time as well. So they were talking about the last chance qualifier, the fact that they need to do really well at it in a few days' time if they want to actually qualify for Challengers Champs and potentially beyond as well. Zinni wasn't especially convinced they're actually going to qualify for it, and the big drama really during the stream was that Symbols revealed, as has, to be fair, been noted as the case for many individuals, that teaming with Swooty wasn't really top of the agenda. Now, the Swooty drama is interesting because he's a talented player. He doesn't have any pro points because he's just come in, which is obviously affecting things. He's also an interesting character, as it were, right? Like, he's very bold, he's very outspoken sometimes, he's very confident in his own abilities, which is perfectly fine. But, you know, maybe too much for some teammates. And some teams certainly can get frustrated with his antics, shall we say. That certainly seems to be the case for some of the teammates anyway. So Symbols kind of said on stream that, yeah, didn't really want to play with that guy. And there was loads of drama about it. People are saying, damn, he snaked him. It's crazy. People were obviously talking about it. Symbols came out and said, look, maybe it's just time for me to be done with this community and step away. Every time I think I do something right, it becomes wrong. I'm going to be off Twitter for a while, focus on myself. I just want to be happy again. Appreciate all the people who showed me love. So it was all going on yesterday. Certainly on the Zuma flank stream, you know, there's more drama probably to come on that story over the coming days too. I think that Skyz is not going to play for them again for the Challengers qualifier, which is interesting because, well, he could potentially, and why would he not? I guess that is the question, right? If he's not going to play it, does he just not want to play with those guys, which is possible, and I wouldn't blame him? Or does he have an offer on the table for the, you know, the actual Esports World Cup? Maybe that's possible too, so he doesn't want to join another team. I guess you can't count anything out quite yet as it stands. But the big drama again was around this team, the champions of the tournament, of course, the Los Angeles Thieves. We got Shane, we got HyDra, we got Scrap, we got Ghosty, we got Envoy. You know, obviously people were laughing at this image for a reason that I'm sure you guys can guess, but, you know, you don't have to worry about Mr. Dan Ghosty. There's no doubt about that. But here's HyDra. He had a phenomenal tournament. 1.09 hardpoint, 1.40 search, 1.05 control, back-to-back champion. Could have been the MVP, sure, but this is the team that, frankly, kind of dominated the tournament. Yeah, they lost to Heretics, but the loss was, I wouldn't give it an asterisk really, but, you know, if Scrappy doesn't call in the gunship, they probably win that series, Thieves 3-1, and then we're talking about things a little differently because the grand finals against FaZe was, frankly, pretty dominant. The only couple of maps they lost were very close, and maybe they shouldn't have lost. Certainly that was true of the control. On the protocol, they got 3-2 reverse swept within, but the other maps, absolutely, they were on complete fire. Right. Now, there was lots of talk about it from Nadeshot, from others, on HyDra individually and some of the other teammates they have. And as Scrappy says, I was literally screaming at this guy, just kill everyone on the map, because Scrappy spawned up and he was hoping that he could just get to the hill in time. And that's what he did. And as soon as he secured that 4-piece from HyDra, it was game over at that point, certainly in this round of control. And FaZe were not able to regain for the rest of the series from there. And the series, of course, at this point did not last all that much longer. But after they'd won the tournament, they sat down at the press room and they had a bit of a chat about the victory. There was a few interesting things exchanged, especially from Envoy around the whole Challengers drama lately. So if you guys don't remember, it wasn't that long ago, Envoy was talking about the lack of talent in Challengers, saying that, you know, there's no one really down there. Expansion isn't necessary because there's not the talent to actually accommodate for it. And I think on some level he might be right. You know, is there a Simp? Is there a HyDra? First of all, sometimes you just don't know until you go looking, and some of the teams often do not decide to go and do the looking, which is, you know, one of the frustrating points for the fans of the scene, because, you know, HyDra was only really discovered because his agent put together a montage of his plays in scrims and was sending it around to all the teams. Otherwise, HyDra probably never would have been signed. Like, as wild as that is, probably someone would have got him eventually, but it definitely fast-tracked the process. Is it the same nowadays in Challenges? For multiple reasons, I would say it's not quite the same. But as Envoy says, you know, there's plenty of these guys that do get their chances. It's not like there are, you know, no talents coming through. There are opportunities out there for players to get additional chances or potentially their first chances in the league. But as Envoy says, you know, lots of these Challenger kids, they come into the league, they talk all this trash about how good they're going to be, and they get slammed. It's actually insane. So, you know, look, I honestly respect Envoy pretty much doubling down and saying, look, this is what I think. I'm not particularly impressed by what we've seen from our rivals, certainly Challenger teams and Challenger players that they've brought in, certainly the ones that are talking a big game and then don't deliver on the server. That's when I think Envoy's kind of play here comes into play, as it were. But very much interested to your thoughts on that in the comments.
A lot of damage into aBeZy, no trade in yet. HyDra, what's his timing going to be like? Looks like it's going to be good. The movement is there, and that is incredible.
Fuck off.
Are you kidding? My God, he
Look, look right here, chat, right here. I'm literally coming. I'm so far. I'm actually so far. Oh wait, no, I actually got a good spawn. I actually got a close one. But bro, I am literally screaming in here, Paco, kill every goddamn fucking person on the map right now. And let me just run at the point. Oh no, fuck that. I'm not running at the point. I'm going plat. I want kills now. Oh, that was gross though. That is gross.
How did you guys regain after losing that match earlier to Miami?
Yeah, I mean, no one rocks Scrappy in the face and gets away with it, so we had to beat Miami.
He's got Emily in a streak for 25 seconds.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Miami should have lost the first series with the Skyline, HP gunship call-in, but yeah, like I said before, I mean, the Challenger players want to talk all this shit, come in the league, get dead last, so it's just insane. It's actually insane. So, I mean, I might drop a 0.8, 0.5 some series, but god damn, I'm doing more on the map.
Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Fuck out of here. We're out of here.
What do you guys think about this as well? We've got the CDL Hater Annual Awards. Drop your nominations, cast your votes. Awards ceremony to be held in a few days' time. So, yeah, most valuable player of, the AS Awards of the year. So basically worst player of the year, player who's stealing a living. All CDL, so basically the opposite of the all-star team. Most fallen player or fallen off player, right? The team that, player that did well last year and then fell off. Worst coach of the year, worst player of the year is pretty funny. And then a player or a play that was so bad that they were basically just helping out the opposition in that moment. So, we'll see these. I do also wish, on the context of the Hater Awards, that there were more awards from the league every year, because these awards actually spin them rounds. It would be nice for the league to give out these awards officially. All they do is give out MVP and All-Star, but and Rookie of the Year, I guess, is now an official award again. I'm hoping anyway this year that remains the case. But apart from that, Coach of the Year, Play of the Year, best team of the year, I don't know, most improved player of the year, stuff like this. That would be kind of nice to see as official awards, I suppose, in the league. And I know that Breaking Point, we talked about it for a little bit, trying to make something on that side happen. Maybe that'll still happen at some point. I guess time will only tell. But very much interested in your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Is Envoy right? Is the fundamental question about all the drama from challenges? Are we going to get many more players coming through? Because, as I said at the start of the video, the argument in compromise was to say, well, hang on a second here. Miami are looking pretty impressive. They brought in SupeR, they brought in Renkart. Those are both brand new players to the league. And if Envoy looks at his own teammates, Scrap was in challenges back in Vanguard. Ghosty was in challenges back in, start of Modern Warfare 2 before he got signed, and certainly before that was true as well. And then HyDra was in French challenges, absolutely slamming people in European local lands for years before then finally getting his opportunity, right? So, I think that Envoy has a point, but equally I think that there probably is more talent down there than we recognize. I mean, let's not forget Mercules came in very recently, and he's done a stellar job with OpTic Texas, right? And even Toronto before that. So, yeah, I get his perspective on some of these guys, that they turn up, they talk trash, they get last place, and he's going to roast them. And fair enough, that is how it is. And when you got confidence in your team and your own ability like that, totally fair play. But in the most circumstances, recently, we actually have seen some relatively talented rookies come in and have some sort of an impact. But very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. I don't really know what happened at this so-called Diddy party after the Sunday of the event, but it was doing the rounds on social media. But it was doing the rounds on COD Twitter this morning when I landed for my flight back from Dallas, which is why I barely stepped on the flight. So, it's a challenge, but, we try our best anyway. But we landed and I was just looking through Twitter, what am I reading right now? Let me just lock in real quick. So anyway, that's just COD things, I suppose. Just COD community things, I don't know. But very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care. And I'll see you next time.